What is up? Welcome back to the channel. Back in the workshop today. Got to do some more work on the Terracan. Still have an overheating issue with it, but I think maybe this time I actually figured it out. I found a leak the other day. I bought one of these test kits, the pressure kits where you can build up pressure in the system, see if it's leaking anywhere. So I put that on there. I found a leak at the back of the cylinder head where the EGR has coolant that runs through it. One of those hoses is leaking, so I'm just gonna bypass it because I've already bypassed the EGR as far as like the exhaust goes. So I'm gonna get that taken care of, but engine's got to cool off first before I can do that. So actually what I want to do, because it's something I want to do to help with cooling, I want to modify this front bumper more like a pre-runner style tube front bumper. I think that'll also help with airflow because there's a good portion of the radiator down here that's behind the bumper. So if I can get more airflow going through this thing, I think it'll help out tremendously. So I'm gonna start on that, and once the engine cools off, then I can work on that coolant leak, but here we go. All right, first things first, I need to disconnect these lights for the fog lights and, well, sorry, the fog lights and the aftermarket lights, and then figure out where I'm gonna cut this bumper. I think it's gonna be somewhere around like here, because I'm gonna leave this top portion, and then I'll just run my tube around it. I don't have a tubing bender, so it's not gonna be done exactly the correct way, but it's gonna be the way that I do it. All right, so bumper's off, and now I just gotta decide where I want to cut this. Mark it with tape and get cutting. So I think I'm gonna just come down whatever this 1.5 inches is, right above this license plate bump out, and just run a tape line right across and just cut right across there. Then I'll throw it back on, figure out, obviously I'm gonna have to trim up these fender liners, and then see if I gotta move anything or trim anything to make it look decent. And then I'll start working on the actual tube bumper. I think I want to come, how do I want to do this? Out like this. I don't think I want the tube going past this fender much. Maybe stop it right here. Come out straight, come off in front of the bumper a little bit, and then shoot across and then dive back in. And I'll do maybe a bar across these tow hooks under this oil cooler. And then I'll run some tubes up. I'm gonna start cutting some tube, measuring and cutting some tube. All right, so I got our cross tube cut. It's a little longer than it needs to be. I still gotta do, because I don't have a tubing bender, I'm gonna have to do some miter cuts here. I'm not gonna cut through the tube all the way. I'm gonna do probably a couple cuts and then angle that in to where basically it's gonna come and touch here. It's gonna come out, across and over. But I'm gonna get these two tubes cut, tacked in the car so that my positioning of this stays the same. And what I did here is I coped these. And if you don't have a coping tool, coping saw, you can angle cut these. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but I just angle cut each way and then kind of clean it up. And it's not a perfect coat, but it kind of gets you in the ballpark. And then once I got that coped, I set it on the tube here, then slide it into place. And I'm just kind of letting it rest on that old bumper stud. Just like that. We're in place here. So then weld that there and there. We'll be good to go. So I just need to make another one for that side. And then planning out where I'm gonna start doing my cuts here. Because then I'm also, once this is bent in, I'm gonna run, oh, and I also got this cut and tacked in place. So then I'm gonna run tubes from right next to here, basically where the jack stands are, at an angle, I don't know, maybe like 5-6 inches apart, but they'll come from here up to this corner up here. So give you that nice V brace. So it'll be nice and supported. And then after I get this in, I may run a tube from here, maybe even lower here, up in an angle to out here. And be nice and supported. Then I'll remount my lights on it, remount my license plate on it. But now you can see I got a bunch more airflow coming through the front of this thing. So yeah, it'll look nice and it'll have more airflow. So hopefully that helps with cooling. All right, got my cuts made, got it bent, got it set up here and tacked in place. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in, figure out where I want to, cut these off, kind of, I guess at the same angle as the car, cap them. It's the same over here. So now I gotta work on my down bars to the center, which those are gonna be fun because those are like coped at weird angles. And then we'll go from there. I'd like to be able to get everything tacked up and then have my final welds be this one, and then the two here. So that I'm not welding all this on the car, but we'll see. So I'm gonna start measuring out for tubes there and get those cut. Okay, so I have my two angled supports cut, coped, and stuck in there. Let me spin you around so you can see it a little closer. All right, so I wish I had, you know, not flux core, but whatever, it is what it is. Not too bad of a cope for doing it with a 4-inch grinder. This has got a little bit more of a gap. So then they go down, they're about 3 inches apart, spaced in the middle there. Yeah, so then like I said, I'll also come off of here and go up to like probably this corner on each side, and then I need to whack off those ends. So trying to figure out if I want to start welding out the center now and then worry about those end ones after. No, I should probably get those on there. Yeah, I think I'll work on cutting the angles to go up to here. That's gonna look good. Like I said, lots more airflow. All right, there you have it. I'm gonna tack it up a little more, up around through here, pull it down, and try and weld all the stuff that's near the bumper, throw it back on, and then I'll weld the 4 spots where it connects, plus this cross tube. And then the last thing I gotta figure out, well, cut those off. And the last thing I gotta figure out is a license plate bracket, which you kind of saw me messing around with that in time lapse. I don't wanna throw it in the center because there goes all of my airflow again. So I think I'm gonna like tuck it back up in here with like a piece of angle iron or something. So, but that's something I can do once it's on. So I'm gonna get this tacked up more, pull it off, and fully weld it up. bumper's all welded up, and I went ahead and started cleaning it up. So now I'm gonna try and get it back on here and get it welded on the car. Well guys, there you have it. I got it welded on, cleaned it up, made a real quick license plate mount, and then threw a quick coat of paint on it. I still gotta add some tabs for some lights, the off-road lights, but yeah, let me spin you around. Well, there you go, looking pretty good. Even like the miter cut bends didn't turn out horrible. No, bud. All right, so now I need to mount the lights on it. And I've got the old lights off that bumper, but I've also got this smaller little compact light bar, which I think is actually gonna look better mounted like right here. So I'm gonna make up 2 tabs because it mounts off the side here. Weld those on and then just use the existing wiring from those other lights. And that way I got a little extra light at night because it's hard to see here at night. So I'm gonna whip up 2 tabs real quick, just grind up the paint where they need to be and throw that on there, make my connections, we'll be good to go. All right, so weld it on, throw a coat of paint on it. And I angled the brackets backwards so that the light sits behind the front of the bar, so that if I were to bump into something, it wouldn't necessarily kill the light right away. So I just have to make my electrical connection and then adjust it, or aim it, and it should be good to go. All right, now let's see if it works, because I didn't test it, the wiring, I just kind of assumed. All right, so I said I had that coolant leak. I went ahead and fixed it because it was back behind the cylinder head, and I could barely see, so I knew you guys would be able to see. But basically what it was, this has EGR on it. Well, had EGR on it. And the line that went, let me see, into the top of this was leaking. I think it was this one. Either way, one of them was leaking. So this was already bypassed. I did that last year, but I went ahead and just removed it and then ran the line that was here straight to where this one ran to. So that should be that coolant leak fixed. It was right, like I said, you can't really see, but this is the line that was leaking. So I'm gonna put some coolant, well, water in it, put some pressure in it, see what it does. Oh, the other thing I did, I mentioned this before, I added this in here. So technically there's 2 radiator caps now, but I added this, which gives me a higher fill point, because when I did the body lift, it raised the radiator up. And so really the tank was higher than the top of the tank was higher than the radiator cap. So now that I have this in there, I can fill it up higher. And then I put a really high pressure cap in there, so that should be fine. I also had to drill and tap the thermostat housing. I added a mechanical temp gauge since the factory one was garbage. So let me throw some water in it and run the pressure up on it. I'm gonna fire this thing up to allow the water to circulate through and then pressure test it. All right, my camera shut off. I forgot that when it connects to the Bluetooth in the car, it shuts off, but I topped the water off. So now I'm gonna pressure test it and see if we fixed it. I think we might be good. I won't really know until I drive it, but yeah. I definitely had a bad leak before that I didn't really notice. So that could have been an overheating issue as well, or leading to it. So, all right, so I think between that leak and then getting some more airflow to it, obviously I'm not gonna know until I drive it some, but hopefully that fixes the overheating issue that I've been battling for like a year now. But once I drive it, we'll figure it out. Well, that's gonna wrap this video up. Drop any questions or comments down below, and tune in next time.